as a kid, and this will date me, it was Eddie Cowboy on a Horse, Roy Rogers, Hopalong Cassidy. They were my heroes. Moving on to say heroes as actors, gosh, there are a lot of good people out there. I think a role model has been the Katherine Hepburn for her tenaciousness, her free spirit, and her uniqueness as far as in her time, what she did, and the courage that she did it. She wasn't just glamour. It was about acting, and it was about spontaneity. She knocks my socks off. She has, and I'm sure that there are a lot of other people that I can't think of at the moment.
That's okay. For many, as a little girl, you wanted to be an actress. You had a dream of an actress. When did you realize that was going to be your total mission? And was it when your parents said you got 3 months, or was it in college?
I think it started when my mother said, "Don't think about it." And of course, if your mother says, "Don't do that," that's all you want to do. And she had dabbled in acting, and in fact, I did a commercial with her when I was really little. It was the last thing I did with her anyway, because it was a car commercial, and all I had to do was just to pretend to be asleep in the back seat, and they had to say how nice the car rode and everything like that. And I just remember my mother turning around and saying, with a big smile, "If you don't close your eyes, Leslie, you're never going to see 8 years old. Do it right now." And I was just supposed to be asleep. But anyway, that was my introduction to show business.
That was the beginning.
I don't know what it was. It just was something that was there. I think I enjoyed. I did some things in grade school, a little takeoff and stuff. It was my gosh, I got their attention, and they're clapping. This is good. So I was glad, because I really did have a vision. I did see something, as opposed to a lot of my friends that didn't really know what they were going to do.
Right, exactly.
There wasn't really a question. The president of ABC was living in the town where I lived, and I knew him, and I think I said I was either his daughter got in, but I'm not quite sure how I did it, but I sort of fudged around. And at that time, producer Joe Hardy was auditioning for a show, and I got in there. And it was for the West Coast, and that fell through. But what I did get was the show that he was doing here in New York. It was called A Time for Us then.
Right.
Which was live television.
That's pretty exciting. Did you, along the way, we're going to talk more about those in a few minutes, because you did some other things here in New York before you went off to L.A. Did you have people along the way? I know, like for me, there's been a lot of people who have said, "You can do it," in terms of the work I'm trying to do, or are always constantly there, kind of cheering you on, aside from Mom saying don't, whatever. Have there been a few of those kind of people for you? And
I would love to say, oh yes, but no.
That's not what it was?
Not really.
Well, that's okay. I was just curious.
Really. Not really. It was sort of do it on my own, and I think that it made me a stronger person, because there was a lot of, don't really think you're going to be doing this, do you, Leslie? Well, yes, I do. And I think that helped. That helped because there wasn't anybody to disappoint except myself.